Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, g'day. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to round 3 of auction tanks. We're going to go through each of them one by one. I'm going to tell you which one's worth it, which one isn't. Now, obviously, if you're on EU, you still have over 5 hours left. Well, I should probably say, by the time this video is released, you probably have about 4 hours left. If you're on NA, you still have at least half a day still left to go for the next round, but seeing as on APAC we get the tanks first and we have the least amount of tanks, you will see very, very soon. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Starting off with, of course, the AMX 3010 prototype. 10,000 gold. Personally, I think this is going to sell out before the price drops. I can already see the Skorpion G going down quite a bit. This is the AMX 3010 prototype. It's a T9 French medium tank. It's a very nice T9 French medium tank. And it's quite nice. It's got a nice gun. It's got good armor. It's got a good, decent, turret armor. It's got good amount of DPM and, of course, good gun depression. It's a all-round fantastic French medium tank. And as you can see, the whole armor is only 80 mils, but it's nicely well angled. And if you're going hold down, you can work wonders with this tank. You got 2400, just over 2400 DPM. You could probably bump that up to about 2500 DPM. 7.57 second reload. Your pen is not bad for a T9 medium. It could be better, but nonetheless. And of course, you have 310 alpha, which is decent. It's not bad. You do have a 4.2 second aim time, which is not the best, and a 0.345 dispersion, again, not the best. But again, nothing, refined, nothing that refined gun and, a gun lane drive can't fix, I reckon. So just, play around with the equipments. You could probably get the accuracy up a bit. But 10 degrees of gun depression. Love that. Love it. Overall, a very nice tank. It's also a very nice looking tank as well. It's quite sexy, if I do say so myself. So yeah, 10,000 gold. It's a bit of a stretch, I'll be honest with you. I would say wait for the next price drop. Definitely, if you can get this under 10,000 gold, it's a steal. Otherwise, it's not bad. I personally think this is going to get sold out before the next price drop here in Asia, because again, there's only 125 tanks, which is not fair. I'll be honest with you, it's not fair whatsoever. Lorraine 40T. Tier 8 French medium tank with 4 shells in the clip. It's quite a nice medium tank, except that it has a light tank armor profile. It's got 40 degrees. It's got 40 millimeters of frontal armor, 55 on the turret. I mean, this thing is just going to get HE'd all day long from anything larger than a 120 millimeter gun. It's it's basically a massive light tank, is what it is. It's got decent DPM at just under 2k DPM. It's got a 19.71 second reload for the whole clip, but it does have a 2.5 intra-clip reload and 4 shells in the clip, which is quite nice indeed. Pen is actually quite nice. 212 on your standard. Your APCR is 259. You're doing 225 alpha per shot, and you've got 4 shells in your magazine. So in one clip, you can probably dish out, about 800 damage, which is quite nice, or just over 800 damage, which is quite nice indeed. And you do have 8 degrees of gun depression, which is not bad, but only 9 degrees of gun elevation, because it's an oscillating turret. So yeah. Dispersion is not bad. Again, the accuracy is not bad at all, but again, the strong point on this thing is its 60 km/h top speed, which is very, very nice indeed. Overall, decent tank, not bad at all, and for 7,500 gold, it's actually not a bad price. I personally would wait for the next price drop before purchasing this vehicle. I think once it hits, 5,000 gold or something, I think it'll be a very good price on APAC. If you can score this tank at less than 4,000 gold on EU, for instance, I would go for it 100%. The Skorpion G. This is a very, very good. As you can tell by the amount of people that are purchasing this on APAC right now, like literally, I started this video as soon as the next round of tanks popped up. As soon as they popped up. So when you're going to see this video, it's going to be 2 hours after. Most likely, Skorpion G, nada. It's going to be gone. For 7,500 gold, the Skorpion G is a steal. It is actually a steal because this tank, whenever it's sold, it's usually more than 7,500 gold. So it's a very good price as it is. This is one of my favorite tanks at tier 8. It is such a versatile tank destroyer. I still personally think the SU-130 PM is the better tank destroyer, and you guys can fight amongst yourselves in the comments down below. There is no denying, though, that the Skorpion G is a hell of a tank. This is basically a light tank, not a tank destroyer. That's how I treat this tank, as a light tank, not a tank destroyer. Okay? You don't have any armor, so just point that out there. You have no armor. You will be penned with HE all day long. It's not like the SU-130 PM where it has a very troll upper glacius where you can get auto ricochets. This one, you're not going to do that. You will be penned with HE. Okay? Your DPM is fantastic. You can probably bump it up to just under 3,000 DPM, which is great. You have a 128mm gun, which just French kiss, sings. Beautiful pen, 246 on your AP. You really don't have to fire a lot of APCR. Your AP is good enough as it is. You're doing 460 alpha, and you have 6 degrees of gun depression. But again, look at top speed, 55 kilometers an hour. Yes, this thing is big. It's quite a big tank. It's basically built on a Panther chassis, essentially, that has no armor. So it's quite a tall, big tank. But there's no denying this is fantastic. Now, unlike the SU-130 PM, this thing can actually traverse its turret at 360 degrees, whereas the SU-130 PM cannot do that. So, yeah, in my opinions, this would be my top pick. I would probably pick this out of all the other, out of all these tanks. This will be my pick, the Skorpion G. It is an amazing tank destroyer. It's so much fun to play, and when you play it, you'll realize how much fun you'll have in it. It really is a very, very nice tank. That will be my pick, and I reckon by the time this video comes up in your feed, hopefully it does, it's going to be sold out on APAC. It's only 125 tanks. Wargaming, please give us more tanks on APAC. And I hear NA is the same. NA apparently has 125 tanks as well, which is not nice. Wargaming, you can do better than this. All right, finally, the Lycan. 10,000 gold for this thing. It's a T7 heavy tank, and the reason why it's 10,000 gold is because Wargaming rarely sell this thing, and if they do sell it in auctions, it's usually only, as I said, in auctions. And it's usually for 10,000 gold, if not more. So, makes sense that this tank is 10,000 gold. Is it worth 10,000 gold? No. I know it says I don't own this thing. I do actually own this tank. I just sold it because I never play it. There's no point in me playing it. In fact, it's probably cheaper for me to repurchase the tank after selling it than it is to just purchase it on the auction. And I will show you after I finish talking about this tank. It's good. It's not amazing. It's not a smasher or an annihilator or a Helsing, but it's still pretty good. It's got, good amount of turret armor. 120 mils is not a lot, but it does have that spaced armor thing at the front, so it does some kind of protection. The frontal armor is quite troll, 115 mils, which is quite nice. It does have werewolf defense, which what do you call it? Like the internal modules and gun does not receive any critical damage, which is nice. So cool. It does have 1600 DPM or 1700 DPM if you want to be pedantic. It's not amazing, but it's good enough. It's a T7 heavy tank at the end of the day. It's running a 120mm gun, 175 mils of AP pen. I mean, these penetration values look very similar to an IS or an IS-2 or an IS-2 Pravda or an IS-2 Berlin or an IS-2 Shielded, for instance. Stuff like that. Very, very similar gun and similar penetration values. 400 alpha, 6.7 second aim time, which is abysmal. 0.44 dispersion, abysmal. Accuracy is not this tank's strong point. Just be wary of that. But it does have 10 degrees of gun depression, which is very, very good. I mean, it's basically an IS style tank. It's essentially this. Look at this tank as an IS-3 at T7 with 10 degrees of gun depression. That's what it feels like. So it's actually quite strong when you put this thing on a ridge and you're using your full amount of gun depression, and you're you know, your pike nose armor, it becomes very effective and actually quite strong on original line. So use that to your advantage. It still doesn't have enough, doesn't have as much, you know, gun depression as the Lupus, for instance, which has 12 degrees of gun depression, and that's a tank that people forgot about. But yeah, Hybrid Nation tank, the Lycan, is it worth 10,000 gold? Absolutely not. If this is a tank you've lusted over for a very long time and you really, 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 really want it in your collection, here's your chance to get it for 10,000 gold. Otherwise, I would say just wait until this tank is as cheap as possible. That would be my opinions. I love how the Skorpion G has now gone to like 80, 81 vehicles left. I suspect on EU this tank is going to sell out before the price drops. That would be my suggestions. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to let me know in the comments down below which of these 4 tanks would be your pick and why. Without further ado, look after yourselves, look after your friends and family, peace in the Middle East as always, and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now, love you all.